have been telling me. The American forces, they are going to have a tank destroyer company, a Sherman company, a Stewart company, a Lee company, an armored rifle company, and a rifle company. And then the support is probably going to be some things taken out of these, probably the tank destroyer and some others will be thrown into support. But mostly it's going to be about the companies. Americans are very well organized here, and they have a lot of options, which is going to exceed the British and the Germans right now. But when the Germans and the British get their second book, it's going to be reversed again. But right now, when this book comes out for the Americans, they're going to be the biggest army, or they have the most selection of any army at this moment. So here we have the armored rifles. The armored rifles, you have to get 2 platoons and a headquarters. The headquarters is going to be 2 carbine units, and then it's going to have a half-track or 2 jeeps, and that's going to be 2 points. The platoon, a full platoon of 5 infantry, 5 bazookas, 2 LMGs, 1 60 millimeter mortar, 150 cal 150 cal half track, and 4 30 cal half tracks, and that's going to be 15 points. So yeah, that's quite a bit of pointage for 1 platoon. But look at all those bazookas. No, you don't even need anti-tank guns to protect your guys. They're good to go. They can do whatever they want. Most flexible infantry in the game, and probably will be the most flexible until the Germans get their half tracks, and then even then, these guys are just amazing. You can go down to 12 points by taking out 2 infantry, a bazooka, and a 30 cal half track, and save yourself a couple points. You'll be able to get options for a 3rd armored rifle, 81 millimeter 81 millimeter half tracks that are mortars, that shoot mortars. You can get light machine gun platoon to go with these, and there'll be 4 light machine guns, and then 2 50 cal guys over here for just 3 points. And then you can get 37 millimeter anti-tank platoon. I only have 1 here, but you can get, there's going to be a lot of options. I really don't know exactly what they are. I know the biggest option is 4 guns, 4 half tracks for 9 points, or just 2 guns. The guns themselves are a point each. So they'll be with rifles, I believe. 50 cal and 30 cal, obviously. 37 is only going to be 7 anti-tank, so they're not going to be that great. They're pretty much totally defensive fire guns, so I don't see much of a use for them other than that. But these guys with their 5 bazookas, oh my goodness, that is absolutely ridiculous. They'll also get an option for the T-30 howitzers with their 75 millimeter weapon. I don't think they might be useful. I only took a quick look at this, but I didn't see how they're going to be that great. They're going to have 6 anti-tank, 3 up firepower. They can bombard, but you know they're not that great. You know, at least whatever. And you can take a 3rd of this platoon here. So that's the armored rifle. The rifles, the regular guys. I guess my airborne over there, but you know, regular army rifles will be a platoon of 10 rifles, 1 bazooka for 8 points, or 7 rifles and a bazooka for 6 points. You can add a light machine gun for 1 point. You can bring in mortars. Let's see, I got my mortars over here. You can have regular 60 millimeter mortars. You can get 3 for 3 points, or 6 for 6 points. So that's really good. Have 6 mortars going on there, and you can get 4 heavy machine guns for 3 points, and that would be pretty amazing. So that's good news right there. The big stuff here, let me get to that. Shermans. Oh man, Shermans are going to be organized much like the Germans are. They're going to have a headquarters of one or two, um, and then platoons of three, four, or five. You can have three platoons of these in your company, and one of them could be a Lee or a Stuart. Now, each Sherman is going to be 8 points. So think of them as your up armored Panzer threes, except they're way up armored. 6.4 on their armor, 6.41, anti-tank 10, firepower 3. Yeah, they outclass the Panzer threes with the equipment only. They'll also have options for an 81 millimeter T-30 or armored recon to be in their company. And then the Lees are exactly the same, except you get one platoon for Stewarts or Shermans, and the rest are Lees. The Lees are going. I don't have them here yet. The Lees are 5 points each, and you can upgrade them to a long gun, which is anti-tank 10 instead of 9, for 1 point. So you could have your Lees the same price, the long guns, as the British. Um, and then, of course, we go to our awesome Wolverine tank destroyers. It looks like, from what I'm gathering, the headquarters is actually going to be two Stewarts. And you pay 4 points, and the Stewarts are going to be 2 points. Stewarts are very similar to the Honey Stewarts, except they cost a little bit more. Now, I'll get to in a second. The troops are not as good as the British. This is why the point cost is down, but the equipment is up, and it kind of evens out. But they cost more than the Honey Stewarts, and their ratings aren't higher, but they cost more. And the reason being is because the Stewarts, the Lees, and the Shermans all have stabilizers, so they're going to keep their full rate of fire when they move, and they're going to need them because they're not very good with tactics. And I'll get to that in just a second. Now, Tank Destroyer Company looks like it's going to have two and Stewarts in the headquarters, and then you can have 2 to 4 in each platoon. You have to have 2, and you can have 3, and then you can add on 2 armored recons, I believe. Now, the tank destroyers each are going to be 8 points. Now, there's a difference between these and the old ones. They get a 5 front armor. So they're like Grants. Then rear armor is 2, and the top armor is 0. But that's really good, and they're going to get the shoot and scoot rule, which is going to make them, if you complete a blitz, and you can shoot and scoot as well in the same turn. So these guys are going to be amazing, a must-have in any army. And then in support, you have your planes. I know that's a Thunderbolt, but the P-40s, the Warhawks, I believe they're called, are going to be 6 points. They're going to be able to drop bombs and use their machine guns. But their skills are down, the anti-tank is down. They're just not nearly as good as the Hurricanes. Hurricanes are a better plane. Stukas are better at bombing, and the Hurricanes are better at shooting, but the Americans will be able to do both and be cheaper. They'll also get an anti-aircraft platoon. They're mobilized, so there'll be 2 for 3 points or 4 for 6 points. I don't have a lot of information on that. And then the 105s. The 105s are going to be 2 for 5 points or all 4 for 10 points. And then the priests are going to be 3 for 11 and 6 for 22 points. So they're pretty expensive. Now, the reason why you're able to get these for about the same price as the British is because the British are confident. They're either veteran or trained, and they're hard to hit. They're cautious. The Americans are confident, just like the British and the Germans, but they're aggressive. So they're 3 up to hit, pretty much across the board, except for the Stewarts. The Stewarts are actually reckless at a 2 up to hit. And then the artillery and the tank destroyers. The tank destroyers are a little bit better. Their skill is at a trained. They're 4 up, which they really did need to have. They can't be green like everybody else. Like a Sherman wants to do a blitz move, it's got to roll 5 up. So they're not really going to be into tactics. They're not going to be as maneuverable or flexible as the Germans. So stop it. So they have, these guys are going to be trained. So they're actually going to have a 4 up to their tactics, which they're going to need for the blitz and then the shoot and scoot. Also, the artillery is going to be a little bit better. They need to do that. They are also trained. That's the only thing that they get a little bit extra. So when they range in, they're going to be on a 4-up, so that's not bad. One other good thing about the American units is that the main units, you got a headquarters unit, they'll be able to spot for your artillery. So everybody put in, there's going to be spotters all over the place instead of just one or two, like in the Germans or the British. And then of course these guys are going to get time on target. So if they range in on the first try, you have to re-roll your saves. So this is just a sneak peek at what's going to be going on with the Americans. There's my light machine guns. I never forgot them. Oh, and one last thing. Almost everything, every vehicle has anti-aircraft, self-defense anti-aircraft. So they're going to be good at taking down aircraft even without dedicated anti-aircraft. So if you need to, they start ganging up, you just start shooting your dedicated, or not dedicated, but self-defense anti-air with all the machine guns on the top. All right, thanks for watching.